So I think till now, what are the topics that are completely clear to you? I think most probably is Newton cooling must be completely clear. Specific heat must be completely clear. Till now, what we have learned that the specific heat are constant. Constant. Have we studied this? While defining the energy itself, Q is equals to, what was Q equal to? Q equal to is proportional to temperature. Was it like this?
MCT.
I think it was something like this. Okay, till now what we have learned that the specific heat is a constant up to a certain temperature. That temperature which I have not defined till now. Isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then what Dulong and Petit? Dulong and Petit. Petit's law. What does these two people suggest? It was yes.
Product of specific heat.
Yes, specific heat is constant. They said, isn't it? They said that yeah, specific heat is constant, and which is close to. This is equal to 3 times R. They say, if you all remember, which is around 6. And which was 6 calorie per gram per atom of in Kelvin. It was something like this. They said here, which comes around to be 6. Okay, to be exact, it's around 5.96. Now I will give you some of the values of the specific heat of different material. For aluminium, how do you write aluminium? Al?
Al.
Okay, for aluminium, its atomic weight is 27 and specific heat is 0.212. If you multiply this, that the specific heat is a product of what? This two, and they call this as a atomic heat. If you all remember. Do you all remember atomic heat?
Yes, sir.
It was basically your specific heat. Your atomic heat was a constant, which was a product of your atomic number or atomic weight. Sorry.
Atomic weight is sir.
And
specific heat.
And specific heat. Basically, atomic heat was what? Your product of what?
Specific heat and atomic weight.
Specific heat and atomic weight. Basically, your atomic heat is what? CV. Specific heat at constant volume. Okay. If you remember, it was given by, it was called atomic heat, which was also called CV. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now your CV and C is different. Your specific heat and specific heat at constant volume is different. Okay, just remember that. If you multiply this two, you will get how much? 5.72. Is it close to this? 5. 5. Yeah, is it? It is close to this. Yes or no? For copper, it was how much? Atomic weight of copper is 63.6. And its specific heat is 0.091, which will end up how much? Giving you 0.031. 0.031, which will give you how much? 6.11. That is also close. Now, can you say it's a good approximation that your specific heat at constant volume or your atomic heat is constant? Can you say it's very close to this number? I'm waiting for your response. Huh?
You do that. If we multiply, it comes 1.9 or
which one? If you multiply this two,
This 63.6 and 0.031.
63, sorry. It was, it was 0.009, sorry. Exactly. 0.091, which will give you 5.79. Now, if you multiply this two, are you getting this number? Deepika, just check.
Yes, sir.
We are getting that number, no? Now for gold.
Yes, sir.
For gold, its atomic weight is 197.2. And for this is specific heat is 0.031. If you multiply this to, how much you'll get? Deepika, just multiply this to.
197.2 into 6.031. 6.1132.
6.11. Let's call this one. Okay. Now for there are some, like even for zinc you'll get it to be 0.06.02. Now can you see these are a very good approximation? Yes, atomic heat is close to 5.92, 5.96.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now what happened was there are few materials, okay, few elements if you got, because we are just considering the elements. There are few elements like your carbon. Do you know what is carbon? Boron. For carbon, C. I think for carbon, can we write C? Its atomic
Yes,
weight
sir.
is 12 and its specific heat is 0.16. Now, if you multiply this to, how much you'll get?
$1.92.
Now, is it close to 3R? Is it close to 5.96? Now I'm asking this very simple question. Is it close to this value? 1 and 5?
No.
No, it's not.
No, sir.
So did you see how this law starts failing for us? Taking some of the different material or the different elements.
No. Yes, sir.
We can see that this is not universal. It does not hold good for all the elements. There are certain elements which does not follow this law. And even for boron itself, boron, it was what? For boron, it's 10.8 atomic weight, 0.307, and it comes out to be 3.32. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now again, it's not. Now there are some elements which does not follow their Dulong and Petit's law. So that's why what people noticed was, so that's why this does not, this Dulong and Petit's law is not universal. But what people found was your atomic heat. Your atomic heat decreases with temperature. Till now, we didn't have any concept of temperature over there in Dulong and Petit's. Do you remember? They said, yeah, CDC atomic heat is a constant, they just said. But what people later found was that your atomic heat decreases with temperature. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now I will make some, I will try to get some curves, not exact, but this is your atomic heat versus temperature. Clear?
Yeah.
Let's say this is 100. This is in Kelvin, okay? This is here 200. This is here 300. This is here 400. And this is here 500. Clear? Zero, though, actually, we won't be able to exactly get the absolute zero, but still, I'm going to start from here. Is it okay? And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Is it okay if I draw a straight line from here? This is a line at which the atomic heat is. This is a line where at which the atomic heat is what? Deepika, atomic heat is what? Atomic heat is 6. Okay, this is the line for that. So how the specific heat, it became like this. Clear? Can you see? This is for silver, this is for silicon, and this is for carbon, let's say. If you consider the same value over here, which is around 300, what you will see, these are the three specific heats. Okay, let's consider this temperature as 20 degrees Celsius. 20 degrees Celsius, which will give you how much? 273 plus 20 will give you how much? 293 Kelvin. So this is the line for how much? 293 Kelvin. That is roughly your room temperature. Clear? Is it clear till here? Now you see the specific heat of silver was already 6. It was following your Dulong and Pettit's law. Did you see? At room temperature. Is it clear or not?
No, sir.
Okay. So let's say for the silver, can you see at what temperature it reaches 6? Then after that it starts its flattening out. Then it will be flat.
Yes, sir.
It will rise, it will start flattening, and at finally it will start. It does not depend on temperature after a certain time. So what people found is their atomic heat decreases with what? Decreases with temperature. As you can see, it's decreasing with temperature. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Now at certain value, it will reach a maximum value. At certain temperature, it will reach a maximum value, and that maximum value is 6. Clear?
Yes, sir.
And this temperature is different for different material. Let's say for the silver, it reached 6 at what temperature? This line is for 293 Kelvin. Clear? So at this point, the specific heat, if you consider this line, if you look at the exact temperature, what is the value of atomic heat for silver? At 273, if you look at the corresponding atomic heat, it will be 6 for silver. Is it clear or not? Okay. What is the value of y at x equal to 1? Can you tell me?
0.
Huh? What is the value of y? 1.
1, 1.
This corresponding value. What is the value of 2 at x equal to 2?
2.
2. This is how you do. This is how you look at the plot, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
For 3,
Yes,
it's 3 because it's linear. For y x equals to 3, it's 3. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, if we
Yes, sir.
move to same thing, okay, let's just consider the silver initially for the first time, which was going like this. And this was 6, this was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. And this was a temperature. Something, something, something. This was 300. Something, 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 something. Now, what is the value over here? At this value, let's say 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300. Clear? What is the value of this atomic heat at temperature equal to 50?
2.5.
Let's call this as 2. What is the value of atomic
2.
heat?
2.
Atomic temperature equal to 50
2.
is 2.
50.
Clear?
2.
What's the atomic heat at T equal to 150?
5.
What is its value?
5.
5. Okay. So what is the value at atomic heat? Value of atomic heat at T equal to 300?
6.
Okay, 6. What is the atomic at temperature is equals to 400?
6.
6. What is at 500?
6.
6. Okay. Now is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
After certain temperature, what will happen? Your atomic heat starts becoming constant. Clear?
Yes, sir.
That is how that is the rule for your Dulong and Petit's. That is what they predicted. They were also correct, but at a certain limit. After certain limit of temperature, your atomic heat starts becoming constant. Is that point clear?
Yes, sir.
But this plot, how fast it flattens out, depends on different material. That is what I was saying. Clear? But your Dulong and Petit's law is not completely true, because after 300, what? Your specific heat started decreasing, as you have already seen from here. Isn't it? Yes or no? Below certain
Yes, sir.
temperature, let's say below this 200 certain, your specific heat started, your atomic heat started decreasing. I think that point is clear. Now let's move on to this plot. And let's consider we have plotted 3 elements. And this is at 273. A corresponding value of here, silver is how much? 6. Can you see? Atomic
Yes,
heat at X is equals to 293 will give you how much? Will give you how much?
6.
Will give you 6. Okay. Now what about silicon?
6.
Silicon X is equals to 6. Is this
4.
coming out to be 6?
Nearly 4.
No.
It's less than
Oh.
6.
Sir,
Okay, it's less than 6. Actually, it was, when we check, it was 3.32. Yeah, it was 5 point something. Actually, it should be slightly higher, 5.11. Okay.
Okay,
Actually,
sir.
don't go with this plot. It's, let's say this is 5, okay? I have not plotted it exactly. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
But actually, the main thing is it's not 6. That is the main thing. For the carbon, it's way below
Yes, sir.
6.
1, 2,
3, 2.
3.
It's around, actually it's 3, but I've plotted it in that manner. So it's way below 6. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
At the same temperature, 293 Kelvin or 20 degrees Celsius. 20 degrees Celsius is roughly a room temperature, no? Room temperature. What? Your specific heat for different material. For some material it was 6, and for some material it was not 6. Clear? So usually what this Dulong and Petit did is they did their experiment in roughly the room temperature, so they got the specific heat of some of the material to be 6. And I think that point is clear. Now Einstein gave attempt. He first attempted that to He made a first attempt to predict this phenomenon. Now, how your atomic heat decreases with temperature, he was the first one to just give an attempt on this. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Einstein theory. He gave a theory how your specific heat changes with your temperature. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, how did Dulong and Petit ended up with that? The value of atomic heat to be around 6 or 3 R. Do you all remember how did we end up over here? Let's go by step. What he considered was each molecule or each atom will have how much energy? Half into kT. That is what he assumed. If you all remember, it was coming from your Boltzmann law. Clear? Deepika, do you remember?
Yes, sir.
Now, first we considered it to be monoatomic. How many degrees of freedom does a monoatomic particle or a monoatomic body has? Did he consider this a monoatomic or diatomic? Do you remember? He didn't consider this as a monoatomic or diatomic. What he considered was what? It as a rigid body.
Rigid.
We consider it to be a rigid body. So that's why how many degrees of freedom will it have?
6.
6. 3 rotational, 2 a 3 translational. Do you know what is rotational and translational? Translation is you can move in 3 direction. And rotation is basically rotating in each plane, XY. You can rotate in XY plane, YZ and XZ plane. These are your 3 degrees of freedom, rotation. And for translation, it's XYZ. It can move in all 3 directions. Clear?
Yes.
So that's why it will have what? 6 degrees of freedom. So for a single atom, it will have how much energy? It has 6 degrees of freedom times half into kT. So it will be 3 kT. 3 RT or KT? 3 KT, no?
RT.
No, KT most probably. So it was for a single. Now, for usually for a specific heat, what do you consider? You consider 1 gram of mass.
1 gram of air. Yes, sir.
It's usually the amount of water increasing that you all know. It's usually we consider 1 gram of mass. In 1 gram of mass, let's say we have n number of particles. Clear? Of atoms or particles, let's say n number of atoms. Clear? So your total energy will be UI. Should I write UI? So your total energy will be how much? N times 3 kT. Clear? 3 into N kT. N into K will give you what? This is a universal gas constant, and K is basically a Boltzmann constant. So this will end up to be 3 RT. Is your total energy. Do you remember this?
Yes, sir.
Now to find the specific heat or atomic heat, what you do, you take a derivative with respect to temperature, which will basically give you what? 3 into R. So this is how Dulong and Petit ended up saying that a specific heat is, or a specific heat at constant volume or a atomic heat is a constant. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Let's try for a diatomic. Clear? For a diatomic molecules, how many degrees of freedom does it have?
12.
Diatomic, I don't think so. It's 12. Is it 12?
6, 10, no?
Diatomic is like this. It's not allowed to move. Basically, it has 5.
10. 5.
5. Why 5? Do you remember why 5?
So duita
Because,
when we are doing
yeah,
2.
because
Rigid
they
body
can move in this direction as they have a constant in between. Do you see? They are connected. So it will
Yes,
act as
sir.
what? A single molecule. So it will move
Single molecule.
like this, or like this. Can you see? So it cannot
Yes.
vibrate independently in this direction. So it has to go together in all the directions. That is a 3. And for the rotation also, what? It can rotate in this and it can rotate in this. This is a diatomic molecule. Let's say it can rotate in this direction. Clear?
Yes, sir.
And second one is it can rotate in this direction.
Only 2 there.
In this direction. Clear?
Yes, sir.
And there is no other way in which you can rotate this. So this is 2 and 2 rotational. One you can rotate towards the plane. In this plane you can rotate, and another you can rotate perpendicular to the plane. That's it. So it will be 2 rotational, 3 translational. Is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
So it has a degrees of freedom. How many degrees of freedom? 5. Now again we go back to that. Your total U will be how much? 5 into 5 by 2 into RT. So its specific heat for diatomic will be how much? 5 by 2 R. This is your CV. 2.5 into R for diatomic. Clear? Can you give me an example of diatomic molecule? Diatomic atom, diatomic. Hydrogen S3, hydrogen S3,
I know, sir.
hydrogen N2. This is 3, no? This I think is triatomic.
Yes,
Oxygen, sir. Oxygen.
Oh, very good.
Oxygen.
Oxygen, O2. This is diatomic because 2 oxygen are sharing, or 2 oxygen, only 2 oxygen are involved here. Oxygen and oxygen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, for triatomic and similarly for n number of different atomic, you can what? You can do this. Now is it clear? I think it's clear. Now for the Einstein, the main takeaway for the Einstein is he considered no, it's not a rigid body, but the atoms are allowed to vibrate. Clear? They are monoatomic, he said. They are monoatomic, he said. Monoatomic, and they are allowed to vibrate. Clear? If they vibrate, then what? They will give us what? Frequency. Rigid body, there wasn't a concept of mu. Because it's a rigid body, it has to move as a whole. Okay? That you will not see actually. Do you see any rigid body moving by itself?
No.
So it doesn't have any frequency related with it. So for a monoatomic is a small atom which is vibrating, he said. It's just vibrating with the frequency mu. And each molecule will have an energy of h nu. And it came from what? Each energy are quantized. Do you know what this quantized means?
Sorry, X.
What
What was X?
What?
X.
Quantized, basically, I think you have also
What
done
is
in
X?
electrostatics. Do you all remember? Quantized charges are quantized or something you have studied in electricity and magnetism. If you all remember.
Sir,
Is my
they
voice?
add up, sir.
Yeah, they can only have a discrete value because charge of an electron is, for a given charge, its charge of an electron is the smallest unit. And after that, what? You can add 2 charges and it will be n times of each. So that is called a discrete. It will have only a certain value. It cannot have a continuous. It cannot have a half of charge of an electron. Clear? So this is a discrete kind of energy. It will come exactly in this manner. It will have this amount of energy. Is it clear? And how many degrees of freedom does a monoatomic molecule has?
6,
How many? 3.
3.
Because how we will rotate? I don't know how we are going to rotate this, because it's just a monoatomic. So it can either move in this direction or in this direction, or so the molecule can either move upward or downward, sideways, backward, forward, and backward. So this is here 6 degrees of freedom, and we don't know how we will rotate it about its own axis. It will be just spinning. Clear? So it will only have 3 degrees of freedom. Deepika, is it clear or not? Why it will not have a rotation of degrees of freedom?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. Okay. So after that, what he found was your total energy was given by something. At the end, I think we have previously derived the whole thing. He ended with CV is given by 3R e to the power. Instead of theta, we use something. So for our timing, I'm just using theta, okay? Minus 1 whole square theta by t whole square. We end it with something. This, for a given particular value, for different material, this theta will be different. Clear? The main takeaway is that your theta is given by h nu by k, and where you call this, for a particular material, we have mu d. For a different material, this mu d, this frequency will change with different material or different elements. So for a particular value where this mu d matches, clear, gives a correct result, that mu d is called your Einstein frequency. Einstein frequency. It was called Einstein frequency. And your theta d was called your Einstein temperature. Do you have any doubts till now? Till now, what we have done?
Dulong and Petit's law.
What does it tell you? That atomic heat is constant. Basically, the whole thing is your specific heat or at constant volume, or your atomic heat is a constant. But that was not universal, because there was some material at given that same temperature, it has a different values. So what later people found was your specific heat at constant volume or your atomic heat decreases with temperature. After certain temperature, it started decreasing. Clear?
Yes, sir.
And the first attempt to explain this was done by Einstein.
Einstein.
He said, yeah, no, it's not a rigid body, it's a monoatomic, which can vibrate and which will give you a certain frequency. Clear? And from there, he calculated what? Atomic heat as a function of temperature. That is the whole thing till now. Now, how good it will fit, we will discuss in our next lecture. Clear? And after that, we will do what? Debye. How Debye incorporates certain idea by which he get even better result as compared to Einstein. Is it clear till here?
Yes, sir.